Hello to all the tradies and general contractors all over the world. They've tuned in for episode 6 of the Tradie Business School podcast. I'm joined today by my co-host, Miranda Hill. How you doing, Miranda?
I am fabulous. So great to be here. I love this topic. I've got a lot of favorite topics, but this is one of them.
Yeah, and so leading on from episode 5, if you haven't checked it out yet, make sure that you absolutely do. But today I want to talk about if you want the job done right, you got to do it yourself. Why is it so hard to find good staff? I remember in the early days of building a business, it was, in particular at the time, it was hiring virtual assistants, and we'd hire VA after VA after VA, and like they're shit. Like all these staff are shit. And I had this bit of a moment where a mentor of mine said, "Barry, I'm kind of noticing a common pattern here." And I was like, "What do you mean a common pattern?" And he's like, "Well, like every staff member you've hired, you said is shit. There's a common denominator." And I was like, "Common denominator?" I was like, "What's that?" And he said, "You." And it was like getting smacked across the face with a wet fish. And I was like, you know what, you're right. And what I realized, and have spent years building on since then, is it wasn't that we were hiring shit staff. It's that we were shit at hiring and onboarding amazing staff. And so right from the get-go, we were not attracting staff that were a fit for the role. We were not bringing them on and educating them in a way that would allow them to be set up to achieve in the role. And therefore, I was going into blame and denial and blaming everything and everyone else around me, rather than taking, I guess, a look inwards and going, well, hey, have I got a company and culture, first and foremost, that attracts great staff? And am I setting them and myself up for success?
And, adding to that, it's as well, I love where you're going with that. It's the process by which we go about attracting people. So first, yes, it is, that limiting belief. If you're listen to the episode beforehand, we started touching on these beliefs, these voices in our heads that always say, there's no good people out there. Everyone I attract is terrible. And that energy that we put out there, and this might sort of sound a little bit woo, but it just plays out over and over and over, is what you focus on is what you get. If you believe wholeheartedly that everyone out there is not good, that's going to show up late, they don't have the skills, they don't have the right attitude, then that's who you are going to find, because it will come through in how you go about attracting them, right through to when you're writing the job ads. The focus will all be on certain things, rather than just creating a culture and a business and even a job ad and a process. It's just like a magnet.
Yeah, I'm going to go just ever so slightly on the woo. And that is that our vibe attracts our tribe. Let's be honest, likes attract likes. Like, you don't see wealthy people hanging out with homeless for a reason, right? Likes attract likes. And so if we are holding on to this unconscious belief or a bias that there's no good employees, or if you want a job done right, you'll do it yourself, or, hard work, pays the living, all these biases and beliefs we've grown up with, that is the energy you're putting out there. Like Miranda said, when you're writing job ads, when you're interviewing people and stuff, like you're filtering in that through the filters of the way that you experience life, right? We talk about this in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, is that we all have these filters that delete, distort, and generalize the outside environment around us. And it's like you and I have had different upbringings that allow me to see life differently to what you see life, right? Just go down the pub and have a chat to your mates, and it's like, all women are bitches, or all men are assholes, or all this or that. Like they're biases and beliefs that aren't actually true. I remember I had a client that approached me, or that I met 3 years ago, Jack. He owned an excavation business in rural, regional Western Australia. And I had this conversation with him, and he was so far outside of any form of connection with woo-ness or energy or spirituality or even mindset at the point in time, that I said to him, the reason you can't attract an operator is because you believe you can't attract an operator. He said, that's bullshit. And I said, I'll prove you wrong. He said, I'm going to hire you to be proved wrong. And I worked with him. We did some stuff around his mindset. And once we did some stuff around his mindset, and he started to believe, and it was as simple as going, okay, let's do some research and find other excavation businesses that are operating in rural towns. And let's see if we can find some where the business owner is not stuck on the machines. And we found multiple. And so then I asked the question, if these other businesses exist, is it possible, or at least plausible, that you too can have what they have? And he said, well, yes. I was like, there we go. And that was the moment where we started to crack the surface of this belief or bias he'd had for so long, which is that good operators don't exist or good operators don't exist in his town. We then took that and we revised his interview process and his recruitment process. Now, as part of you guys and girls listening to this episode today, there's a download link somewhere around this video to the recruitment process that we've refined over years that works absolutely incredibly well. You can download it. It's also within my copy of The Path to Freedom. If you want to buy this book, we also include in the book scripts and questions and everything to take you through the whole entire interview process from start to finish. Like, everything is taken care of. So it's worth the $30 to get a copy of the book. But anyway, we rewrote the interview process. Within 6 weeks of us working together, he had attracted somebody who actually moved states to the country town to take on board this operation role in his company. And still today works there. It allowed Jack to get off the tools, so to speak. But again, it started with a change in belief. And then once that change in belief happened, then reworking the interview process and the way that he was attracting his tribe.
Yeah. And I love that story. It gives me, sort of chills to think about the possibility that it opens up the moment that we, and whether or not you're into the woo listening to this now, whether or not that the energetic and the tribe and the vibe stuff resonates with you or not, I invite you just in this moment though, just for a moment, take away, to take off the hat of that belief that you may have, if you have it, that there's no good people or it's hard to find good people. And just for a moment, just try it on that what if, and ask yourself the question, how do I attract all those good people that are out there? Because if you look around for a moment, you'll see evidence. I know that you will notice evidence that other businesses in your market will have good people. They exist. So therefore you can attract them too. And it's all about doing that. And one of our clients just recently has done this. He's worked through our process in the concreting business, firmly believed over the last number of years that he could not attract good concreters. Now, he has just found 4. So he was just mind blown and shared it with us all about how his belief was so off track. And, it all does begin with, having the right process and thinking about it in the right way, going, they are out there. How do I go about creating a business that they want to work for and communicating that, sharing that in a way that they notice us and they want to apply.
It's like, think about it like this, like whatever your trade is right now, landscaper, builder, plumber, electrician, carpenter, whatever it is, like you weren't born with that skill set. Sure, you might have been naturally talented, but how you are right now and how you operate is something that you've learned and refined over the years. Now you can rock up at a job and do the job almost with your eyes closed. Building a business is no different than a trade. It's just something that no one's taught you in the past. You haven't learned it at school. You haven't necessarily been educated. You maybe read books, but the books are fluffy and give you all the why and the what, but don't give you the specific how. And I guess that's what we're changing here at the Tradie Business School. We have an amazing course that runs through, and we take you through a clear defined module of the Path to Freedom every single month, where we give you the tools, the templates, the strategies. We've done 90% of it for you. All you've got to do is implement it. You don't have to go and create it for yourself. All you've got to do is implement it. The cost of the program is less than a few coffees a week, so it's highly valuable. But basically, we take away all the guesswork of building a great business, because certainly from the tradies that I've met, you're amazing at what you do. You deliver fantastic value. There is some part of you that knows that you could create a better business or build a better business than what you have right now. But you're just wondering why you just keep turning the wheels and not moving forwards, why you keep getting stuck on the tools, why your cash flow is so lumpy and, you never seem to have money in the bank, why you keep attracting, shitty employees. We've taken the guesswork out. And over the past, 8 or 9 years, I've been working, coaching people around just that. And literally we've seen it all. We've seen it all. And we've created, step-by-step implementation guides to do all the hard work for you, so you can keep building your trades business while we kind of, walk beside you, holding your hand and putting it in place. If that's not something you're ready to look at yet, highly recommend we'll put the link to my book somewhere. Get my book, The Path to Freedom. This is the last 9 years of working with thousands of clients around the world, building profitable business that works without them. Within the book, the difference between this and the implementation program is that although we give you a lot of tools and templates in the book, you haven't got access to me or the team with questions and stuff that you've got. Whereas if you're doing the program, you've got access to not just myself, Miranda, Michael, the team, but hundreds of other tradies as well who are on the same journey as you, willing to support you to fast track your growth to building a profitable business that can work without you.
And, being part of that community that, you're no longer alone. Like, people get the same stuff. They understand what it's like to toss up. Do I hire? Do I look for an apprentice? Do I look for a junior? Do I look for a senior? Do I look for somebody, a skilled, whoever I look for? Who is the person I'm looking for? What am I going to get them to do? There are so many. I guess for now, as you're listening to this podcast, though, just look within yourself for a moment. Just notice what's going on, and notice, do I have that limiting belief that it's hard to find good people? Because that's step one. It is the most important step, to put aside that belief that it is hard to find good people, because good people do exist. What were you about to share, Barry? I saw you've bookmarked a page there.
Well, no, exactly right. And the reality is it might be hard for you right now because, again, you haven't acquired that skill set yet. But like we've got one of our clients, Angus, who was one of the first to go through our hiring process, automated it down to a T. The moment he turns on ads, he's got carpenter applications flooding in. And they're all amazing applications. The challenge he now has is selecting the best of the best, whereas the challenge he used to have was finding someone decent out of the people that applied for it. And that's the same process we gave to Harmy. We teach all of our clients, who you mentioned was the concreter who's just found 4 amazing employees. And if you are watching this on YouTube, or if you're listening to this, and you're not watching this, about to just show the process to the screen, we have a process chart that looks like this. And every single box has either a script or an email template or a job ad that you just have to place, and you might need to edit it slightly for your particular role. But all the hard work's done to where you too could have an automated process like Angus, where literally he goes and turns some ads on social and has applicants rolling in because, again, it's a system. Think about the way that you go to install a new bathroom sink or a flick mixer or, a door or a kitchen or whatever. Like, you have a process, whether it's documented or not, you have a process that works, that you follow time and time again to get a successful result for your clients. We have that process for hiring, which is one of the biggest challenges we find that tradies face. But as Miranda mentioned, step one is just, first of all, kind of looking to other businesses and go, okay, do other businesses have good tradies? Yes, they do. Right. So the belief is there. And then secondly, step would be to download the process from wherever you're watching this from. There'll be a link below here somewhere, or the tradiebusinessschool.com website. Download the resource, implement it, get the results. And if you then really want to take your business and your life to the next level, look at joining the Tradie Business School program, where, again, we hold your hand step by step to implement not just hiring an amazing team, but increasing your profitability ridiculously, getting your time back, a whole range of things to grow an amazing trades business. Miranda, anything to kind of add to that?
Yeah, I was just thinking about the timing of this. It's the beginning of the year, beginning of a fresh new year. And what if this year was completely different to the way it's always been for you? What if what you hope for, what if the things that you've wondered about, what if the business that you really aspire to build becomes a reality this year? And so, these are the beginnings, just the shifts in your mindset, opening your mind and taking action. So as you're listening to this, park later, park your truck or whatever you've got to do to revisit this and go and visit that website and download those resources, because the value of those is just enormous.
Yeah, the resources are free, so the cost, I guess, benefit for you is huge. I remember doing some calculations years ago, and I worked out that every bad hire, like every time I fucked up on a hire, it cost me 6 times the annual income of that position I was hiring for, in terms of time, in terms of lost momentum within the business, in terms of often mistakes as well. And that's something we've noticed through perfecting this process and teaching it to our trades and general contractor clients, that they've been able to get staff on board that are up and running in days and weeks, not months and years, that are out on the tools, making the money, that are self-reliant and self-sufficient, because the recruitment process, I guess, qualifies very, very well. So at a minimum, download the free resource, or buy a copy of my book as well. There's a lot more in the book outside the free resource. And if you are curious to find out more about the Tradie Business School program, book a call to speak to one of the team. We can talk you through what's involved, whether you're a good fit, and how it's going to benefit you and your business. Thank you so much for joining us on episode 6, and looking forward to seeing you on episode 7, which is my website sucks. What should I do about it? Miranda, thank you so much.
Thank you. See you guys.